Salute. Yeah. Hey, I got to give it up to God, the Most High, the creator of everything, and one time, yeah. I'm gonna start cutting the intro short here and there because there's lots of things to unpack. But it seems like they're after old Uncle Snoop, man. They after Uncle Snoop, and we got to stand with Uncle Snoop. You know what I mean? I bought some for you to fire up too, man, to take all the stress off, bro. They can't cancel you, Snoop. They can't. Oh, my bad. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, the LBGTQ, the Rainbow Movement, is after Snoop Dogg for what I feel like was a very honest and very careful. Um, listen, fair use, educational purposes. Let's get into it.
Going to see what was the movie with Buzz, like I think it's called, like, Kiki, and like, and she had a baby with a woman. Oh, I didn't come in for this. They put it everywhere. What up, dog? It's your boy Big Snoop D-O-double-G.
Snoop catching some heat for comments he made about LGBTQ representation on the It's Giving podcast. The rapper explaining his shock at seeing lesbian parents depicted on screen. The scene from the 2022 film marked Disney's first same-sex kiss.
Oh, my grandson in the middle of the movie like, Papa Snoop, how she have a baby with a woman? She a woman. Oh, I didn't come in for this. Just came and watched the goddamn movie. Hey, man, watch the movie. So it's like, I'm scared to go to the movies now. Like, y'all throwing me in the middle. I don't have an answer for it.
The moment was almost axed from the theatrical cut, but Pixar employees protested and got it reinstated.
It threw me for a loop. These are kids that we have to show that at this age, like,
that part.
They're going to ask questions.
Yeah.
They are going to ask. I don't have the answer.
What'd you tell them?
Watch the movie.
Snoop's hot take sparked criticism in the comments. One user saying, "It isn't that hard to explain. Science." Another chiming in with, "Being afraid of gay parents in movies is crazy."
Wait a minute. It isn't that hard to explain science. It isn't that hard to explain science. What is scientific about two women kissing on a child's film? Why would we want to introduce this to children? Why? Everyone talks about protecting kids and mental health and the best interest of the child. How is this in the best interest of the child? Snoop, don't worry. I got your back. We gonna stand with you. We gonna stand with you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all know Snoop is one of my many neighborhood nicknames. So I got to stand with Uncle Snoop. You know what I'm saying? I got to stand with him. This is crazy, man. So we're not allowed to protect the kids anymore, and anything that society deems to be normal shouldn't be abnormal to those who aren't used to it. Let me give you an example. Okay, some things you should keep to yourself. All right. When the Black Lives Matter movement was running around, no one called it hate speech to talk against it. No one calls it hate speech to talk against the Ku Klux Klan. No one called it hate speech to talk up against the Black Panthers. No one calls it hate speech to speak up against, what's going on in Israel, wherever else, right? But anytime you speak up against the letter movement, there's always backlash and it's hate speech. I'm not understanding how it is okay in the minds of these abnormal individuals to push their agenda on people who really don't rock like that. Why are we poisoning our kids? Why are we forced to answer these questions? Why are our kids being forced to even come up with these questions from having this content around them? An innocent family, you're trying to put it in their heads early. We're gonna have a bunch of Zion Wades running around here if we keep this up. You know, this is not right. I agree with Snoop. What do you tell your children besides, "Hey, watch the movie"? What can you tell them? And what is he being canceled for? For not answering the question at all, for being evasive, for not knowing what to say? And then you're going to say it's not that hard, it's scientific, and cancel Snoop. Cancel Snoop for what? Because he refuses to get down with your agenda? So the heterosexual can't say that he disagrees with the homosexual lifestyle, still respect the homosexual as a human being and keep it moving. You live your life, I live mine. Is that what we've come to, that we can't agree to disagree when it comes to the LGBTQ movement? You know, honestly, some things you keep to yourself. All right. I'm sorry, but if you're walking around here with AIDS, I don't want that. Keep that to yourself. You know, if you're walking around here with negative energy, keep that to yourself. If you're walking around here with coronavirus, we don't want that. Keep it to yourself. So it should be okay for me. Okay, the men in Atlanta wearing skirts, to each his own. We don't want that. Keep that to yourself. Stay in your lane. Same thing with the LGBTQ movement. You know what I'm saying? We respect you as human beings. Everyone deserves respect, but we ain't with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep that to yourself. Why are you trying to pass it on? Certain things should be against the law to pass on. This is like coercion at this point. But if I go out there and I coerce someone into doing something wrong or something, you know, something manipulative, then guess who? Guess who has to bite the bullet on that? I do. I do. You know, the first thing a court will ask you is, do you understand? Have you been coerced? Disney, Pixar, this Lightyear movie, this is coercion. So if these little kids grow up acting abnormal and liking the same sex, and to each his own, I mean no one disrespect here, but we got to have this conversation. If they grow up being lovers of the same sex, is it fair to say that that was coercion based on the government, based on the hidden agenda, based on the movement itself, based on these movies? I understand putting it in there because, okay, it's legal, but that does not mean that it is appropriate for children. Hell, it's not even appropriate for me, to be honest. Whenever I see stuff like that on TV, I turn. There need to be some type of warning. Like if you say, warning, this contains sex, nudity, smoking, violence, it needs to say LGBTQ as well. That way we can save our children. No one should be going after Snoop Dogg because he said he's afraid to go to the movies now, and people are throwing him in the middle and trying to cancel. Why? He barely spoke on it. I think I spoke on it more than he has. I spoke on it more than he has. If this is your lifestyle, this is your lifestyle. Keep it to yourself. Find people who rock like you. Don't push it on the innocent. Our children's minds aren't developed yet. You're already giving them too much to think about, to wrestle with, rather than the things they need to prioritize, the things they need to know, the things they need to learn that's really going to help them. You know, this is just a bigger way to depopulate the earth. I'm sorry, but I think any child who lives in a normal household, traditional man and woman, would ask the same question that Snoop Dogg's grandchild asked. How did that happen and it's two women? How did that happen and it's two men? We can't explain that. But what we can do is take the Snoop Dogg route so that we don't offend anyone, you know, and we pretend to act dumb as well. It doesn't mean that we're blind to the fact. It means that we have to act dumb because we are living in a culture of people who try to cancel you if you disagree with them. What type of dictatorship is this? You know, what type of dictatorship is this? This is ridiculous. You know, you want to cancel Snoop Dogg for barely making a comment and making sense with the comment he made. I mean, anyone in the government with children, anyone that's a teacher, anyone that works in a daycare, the women should be speaking up about this. You know, the women should be backing Snoop Dogg, but they are the ones that's going after Snoop Dogg. And I've seen lots of black women in this movement, the LBGT, you know, the alphabet crew here, come after Uncle Snoop. And it's not right. At what point do we protect our children, protect our children's innocence, protect their minds? You know what I mean? Protect their choices, protect their decisions, respect their presence. Why would you put this in the presence of your child? When I was growing up, if something like this would have come on TV, the first thing my mom would have done was send me to my room or say turn your head until she could turn the channel. How is it okay now? Why are we speaking up against Snoop Dogg, who's pro children here? You know, I'm not getting it. Everything he said is pro child, the best interest of a child. This is how we should view this when it comes to protecting our children at that young of an age. Once you're 18, make your own decisions. If that's the way you walk, that's the way you walk, and can't nobody tell you nothing. You understand what I'm saying? It's not for anyone to judge you, but right now it is for everyone to protect their children's innocence, their children's mindset. A child's learning ability should never ever be limited to just learning about sexuality. It's way too early in their development. They don't even understand the things they're looking at, which is why they're asking questions. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all let me know what you think about this. I'm definitely gonna stand with O S N O P D O double G. You know what I'm saying? And don't worry, Snoop. I got something for the hard times, my man. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be all right, Snoop. I got something for the hard times, pimpin'. All right, for shizzle, my nizzle. All right, hey, but y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. This man, this is a crazy world we live in, man. It's okay to march on the Capitol, but it's not okay to barely say anything about this movement and still get attacked and canceled. And they're probably going to cancel me, and I haven't really said anything. To each his own. You know, this isn't hate speech. This isn't going against anyone. You know, I love everyone. I love everyone. I accept everyone for who they are. But you guys need to learn to respect everyone's private space. You know, everyone has tradition in their homes, and this may not be the tradition that they want their children to practice, you know, and you have to respect that. I certainly don't want to practice at my home, you know, and I can say that if I have to deal with that, I mean, I'll deal with it when the time comes. But for now, I'm doing everything I can to make sure that my children, you know, have love for traditional home as well. Those around me have love for traditional home. Those around me being the other adults as well, you know, because we have to keep something traditional. We have to keep something sacred. We have to have common ground somewhere. You know, I just don't feel like there's a gray area here. All right. Well, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Get your one on one. Get your one on one. Get your one on one with your higher power, y'all. I can't even do it with this hand, y'all. Carpal tunnel and it's beating me down right now. But I did the best I could. Y'all stay prayed up, stay blessed up, stay meditated up, stay protected, stay real, stay conscious, stay uncut, be inspired, be great, be you. And before you set out to cancel Snoop Dogg or even talk noise to me about my opinion, which I'm entitled to, put the shoe on the other foot and pretend that these are your children, this young, coming to you, asking you about this stuff. How would you feel? It's way too early for the birds and the bees talk. And now you can't even have the birds and the bees because now it's got to be the birds and the birds and the bees with the bees. No, no, no. You know, it's just way too early, man. Y'all, you know it's love. Everyone's not going to agree, you know, but I stand 10 toes down with Uncle Snoop, y'all. You got to protect the children, man.